What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chase Corrington, CLC Paint here, and welcome back. Got myself a canvas ready, and let's do a mountain landscape. I really like to keep it simple. I like to invite you to join me. If you've never painted, give it a try, because I'll show you just how easy I think it can be. Every time, it's so weird. Every time I'm telling people that it's easy, they're like, yeah, you're just saying that. So all I did was grab a little bit of blue on the end of the brush there, just a bit, went back and forth through it, not even very much. Just gonna swipe it on here. Maybe we'll leave like an open, I'm doing circles, X's, however, zigzags. You just want it to blend with the white that's on the canvas already. Blend it in. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day wherever you are. Maybe coming in across like so. That's fine with me. Now I'm just going to keep blending. Just going to keep on blending this stuff. You know, it's so funny how it started for me. All thanks to Bob Ross, of course. But I was sitting at home during the summer quite a number, 5 or 6 years ago, when they first put Bob Ross on Netflix. You know, I found it. And I was like, hey, I remember watching this with my dad when I was a kid back in the 90s. And I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And so I turned it on, and you know, it's captivating as it is, as everybody knows. And so watched for probably 5 or 6 episodes. And I was like, he keeps saying it's just that easy. It's just that easy. And I was like, what? Like, he can't be serious. He makes it look easy. All you see him do is, you know, what we're attempting to do here. And that's the cool thing about painting. No matter how hard you try, you can never do exactly the same thing. Just do that flat. Make sure these are flat when you're doing this. But you probably know that. So yeah, it's fascinating. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this a try. So I went to the, I don't remember if it was some art store, or it might even have been Walmart or whatever. Got a cheap little set of like beginners acrylic paints and like a 60-page canvas paper pad or something like that. And I literally just turned on an episode and started trying to see if it was really that easy. And so here I am many years later. I think that was 2015 or 16, one of the two. Many years later, I'm sitting here doing this now. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird how life works out? But my theme for this year is I'm wanting to practice the art of showing up. And what that means to me is showing up to whatever it is that you do. So like right now, I'm showing up to painting. Maybe, yeah, maybe we'll just leave it like that without blending it like we normally do. And we'll see what happens. Let's just see what happens. All right. We'll use a fan brush now. Let's start up here. See, what I like to do, from what I've watched and learned so far, is I load just the corner that I'm going to use instead of filling up the entire brush. I don't know. That's just how it works for me. Because then I can use the other side of the brush for something else later in the process. Got a big old clump up there. There we go. Reload that. I don't want to use too much of my white because I'm almost running out here. I have to buy. That was a good question after seeing the documentary, the Bob Ross documentary. It's like, all right, now once I run out of the paints that I have, because I mean, you can't, unless you're like a researcher into the story before the documentary came out, you can't really blame yourself for buying the products. And I mean, a lot of people may not have ever even started if the products weren't available the way they were. I wouldn't have if I didn't find the Bob Ross master paint set on Amazon like all those years ago. Like that's what happened. I was watching it on Netflix, and then you're like, well, I gotta give this a try. You go get a crappy paint set, and then you notice other things when you're watching, like, oh, he said oil. I didn't even think about that before you're trying, unless you're smarter than I am, which is probably the case. Probably the case. See, now just underneath of these things, I'm just going to do a lot of blending. Like this whole thing will probably be covered up with a mountain right there. But I'm just going to do some circles with the fan brush underneath of these. Yeah, maybe we'll have this go right off that area. Oops, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Bumped into you. All right, let's just go ahead and leave that where it is. The art of messing around. Or maybe we'll fluff it. Yeah, let's fluff it. Just lightly, just lightly. It's so interesting, what it does when you overthink trying to be perfect. Like this is definitely not going to be the most professional video, but how could you ever get to that point without doing something? Like if you don't do it, then you're not going to get better. And the only way to get better is by doing it. But if you don't want to do it because you can't do it good, then you're never going to get better. So that's a key philosophy there, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to consider. Isn't that a wild looking? All right, I got the little knife right now. I'm going to let's have some purple mountains going on here. I'm going to pull the blue out there, grab a chunk of crimson, put it right through the blue. It's crazy how strong the blue is. You think they'd make a stronger crimson, but maybe that's just not how pigments work. Maybe that's just not how pigments work. All right. I was looking at some, what's the brand? Gamblin, 1980. I happen to work at Michael's, so I'm stocking all these art supplies all the time. And I'm like, By the way, if you're interested in supporting me, you can check out my Etsy shop, which will be linked in the comments below. And I'd like to price my paintings at good prices. Definitely not too expensive for you. But that's probably not why you're here. You're probably here to see a mountain landscape tutorial. So let's go ahead and let's just get this going here. I already thought about it when I was putting on the clouds. So let's see. We're just going to make the edges here, as you can see what I'm doing. The key to this is not worrying. If you get over worried, then you're going to expect it to come out a certain way, and it's never going to happen unless you've not worried enough to figure it out, and then you can maybe try to plan it. But even then, I try to avoid planning. But maybe that's just me. I mean, there's other people that do a really good job kind of pre-planning their paintings. And I've tried to do that and follow along and learn from that style. And I've made some really good paintings, but I don't know, it just felt different. I feel like the process took forever. Isn't that just like let's give him some bumps. Felt like it was too long of a process, though, if you know what I mean. It's not very rigidy. Maybe use a softer flowing mountain, and the highlights will change everything. So we'll kind of let the highlights speak for themselves. Yeah, give them some bumps like that. There we go. There we go. And see, I'm just pushing the paint around with the knife at this point because there's already enough on the canvas that we don't need to keep putting it on there. So let's take whatever brush you want. Maybe let's get some more paper towels here to wipe this off. There we go. Actually, not paper towels, but that works. So since this brush is already dirty with the blue on it, I'm going to go ahead and just use that. You can see it's mixing the blue in there. That'll make this interesting. We're just going to pull this mountain straight down. However big we want it to be. If we wanted it to go all the way down to here, just keep pulling it down. But I'm going to lift the brush where I want it to stop. You just want to be careful not to destroy. Be like, don't do that. All right, pull that out. Nice, fantastic. And see, it is as easy as it looks. I'm telling you. I don't know why anybody would ever think. Well, I do. I do know why somebody would think that it's not easy, because they haven't tried it 35 times. Maybe that's the secret. And right where it comes together, there's you see on this side I sweep that way to flat. This side I sweep that way to flat. And then right in the middle, it kind of meets there. We're just going to softly, I'm not pushing hard while I'm brushing this. And something like that. That looks like a cool mountain. That looks like a cool mountain. Let's go ahead and grab a little roll of white. Pardon me there, I had an itch. It's crazy when you got a lot of hair, if you know what I mean. All of a sudden you're like, what's poking me on the side of my face? And some people would say, cut your hair. And I say, well, for some reason don't want to. I seem to like it this way. Actually, I haven't heard that in a long time. People used to say cut your hair. Maybe that was an old 90s thing that we don't do so much anymore. I don't know. Or I just have been around better people for a long time since then. And just barely, the way I choose to do this, and I'm interested if you're a painter yourself and you've done this. Do you choose to go right up to the top edge of the peak and work down, or you start in the middle and work up? Or because I go to the top edge of the peak and kind of work down at the angle of the mountain. Let's give us some swiggles there. And we get the white down to there. There we go. It's all accidental, really. You just kind of let it happen. Maybe we'll highlight up there. A bit more white on my painting knife. And see, then that'll get cut off. And so this one way back in the distance. And there's that one. And then this one comes down, something like that. Who knows? Little peaks. I'm just gonna grab a tiny scrape of the blue, like barely any, and mix that. And this is just how I do it. I watch different people, and it's so fascinating how everybody's got their own little quirks. It's probably what makes it so wonderful. All right, we got a bunch of blue on there. It's a light blue. I mixed it with white, so it's very light. See that? It's lighter than our sky here. But you can do whatever shade of blue that you prefer. For some reason, this is just what's happening at the moment. And see, that goes the opposite way of the white. Now, this is also a question. Do you go this way and then scrape it that way? Or do you flip the knife and go, you know what I mean? Let me know what you think. Or if you're just learning this, then give it a try and tell me what you think. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. See, I run out of paint quick because I don't use a lot of it. That seems to be a paradox, doesn't it? You would think if you didn't use a lot of it, it would last forever. But no, I meant on the knife. See, now I'm flipping the knife over to get into that little tiny spot there. Get into that tiny spot there. Maybe we need some more blue. It'll be real blue over here. Nope. Came out pretty much the same as all the rest. And seems the more you leave to imagination, the more the mind will fill in the gaps. If you try not to be too perfect about it and just let things happen. That was a nice little maneuver there, like that. Maybe let's touch that up, and I think we'll call this mountain completed. So is it really that easy? And I'm still stunned already. Yeah, to keep going. I'm so tempted just to keep going. All right, maybe a tiny little thing that comes like right there. Yeah, I felt it. But see, then there's like this jagged edge right there. So it's never finished. It's never finished, is it? It's never finished, is it? But see, now there's like a swoop coming around there. And let's take that swoop, mix ourselves some blue shadowy color, and create a backside to that. All right, now that was a fun one. That's what it's all about here. Having fun, but also having results you like to stare at. Results you like to stare at. All right, let's take this brush is pretty much white on it. I used it for the liquid white in the very beginning. And shoot. I really don't need, if I had a bunch of white coming down, I would tap it to extend the misty area at the bottom of the mountain, which has a powerful effect, but I don't really see that to be too necessary at the moment. So I'm just gonna do a quick tap, lift up slightly, make little noises. This is the wind whipping up the cliffs and valleys. All right, before your brush gets too blue, save it for later. We're gonna need it when we do some highlights, if we do those. Now that we got a distant mountain here, maybe I'll give you if you want to see the perfect image, I'll probably post it on the CLC Paint Instagram. Now, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're gonna make it simple. So, shoot, green, purple. Maybe I can mix green and purple together. So I'm gonna grab that purple mountain color and just go right into a bit of sap green. Sap green. And now this should be a lighter color, but once again, I don't have that much white, so I'm just gonna see what happens. See, this is gonna be pitch black, but maybe we can just keep tapping it until it becomes less so. Yeah, look at the green in there. So we're just gonna bring ourselves a little valley down in here. Maybe it's a little thicker. It comes over there. There we go. See, it begins to get lighter. Not really. We'll see. Once we run out of paint on the brush, it'll start getting lighter because there's that white on the canvas. Oh yeah. This side's kind of purple looking. And then it's more green over here. That's interesting. That's interesting. You know, we're going to mist underneath of this, so I'm creating a softer little bit under there that I can then tap with another brush so it can get misty there. Why? It makes it easier to put a next layer, I think. And because we want this, instead of just being hills, to be far away pine trees. It doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be, but just going to push in and smear upwards the top edge of these, and they'll begin to have these little spikies that really makes a huge difference when you're looking at the painting up close and in person, personal, at a personal distance. Yeah, see, I'm just gonna keep lifting up this whole thing. See this lighter area down here? I like how the green mixed with the darkness of the purple. See, that was a fun experiment. That was a fun experiment. Bring your own, there's many people that do this. So, you know, you kind of get these thoughts like, Well, if they're already doing it and they're doing it better than I, then why should I even try? And it's like, bring your own unique self to the world. I read a thing earlier. It was like we each have our own unique gifts to offer. Don't leave with them still inside because you thought that somebody else, you know, I like to say that a lot. Almost like you expect people to know what you mean. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, I kinda. Now, this is the part where the canvas is probably going to fall off, so maybe I'll hold on to it. One day I will have a painting studio. I've been saying that for a couple of years now, but I've yet to be able to manifest it. And believe me, I've been studying manifesting. And it's not just visualize and it will happen. There's this understanding of connecting to the willingness to show up. See, that's why I'm practicing the showing up part. Oh, yeah, slam this. There's another great quote I heard earlier. It was like, if you knew you were going to fail, or if you were already failing at something, but you do it anyways, regardless, those are the things to step into. Because often if we do these things and we never give up at them, after years and years and years, as long as you apply timeless principles of best practices and things. See how nice and misty that got? It takes some pounding. You really got to bend the bristles and almost slide it down a little bit. You got to just pull it down. Yeah, lift up. Beautiful. Now, wisp that off there. See, that was simple. The mountain was simple. The sky was simple. I didn't even blend it, really. Could have done that a lot more. Apparently, it just kind of happens. If you wanted to, you could do a little purple underneath the clouds and it adds a whole ton of depth to them. Well, since I got the brush going already with the purple, let's do that real quick. Oh, actually, it's got green on it too. I don't know if I want to make green foothill clouds. Let's give it a try anyway. Heck. Yeah, see, that's more like a gray color, but see the dimension that added to that cloud instantly. Just roll that right into there, something like that. So you can't even notice that. So much brightness coming from my open window. I don't know, see there? See at the angle? It's almost a gray color in the clouds now, but just gonna grab a touch of white. Add on to up here. Since we did some cloud editing, we're cloud makers, ladies and gentlemen. You can make a cloud. Just little circles, soft. I almost wanted to just disappear into the sky itself. Yeah, there we go. That's the way. And see, I almost nicked my mountain there, but it's all right. It looks swoopy now. I'm going to pull this back over here at this angle. But see, that's how it takes. You just play with color and you'll find out that it's a lot easier than we expected. Especially if we get out of our heads, stop the negative self-talk and just do it to do it. Not do it to have some kind of result that's not doing it. Does that make sense? Something I've been working on lately. It's like just doing things to do them. Like I'm just making a painting video. See that big penguin? It's amazing. Just making a painting video to make a painting video. I'm not making a painting video to get the results of what I think the painting video will do. I am just doing this to do it. And then the quality of doing this to do it will be greater than attaching to some future or external result. I've been getting this. There's three. Sorry, I keep painting. There's three. Yeah, maybe I was thinking where I want to go next. Three things that make up self-actualizing or self-actualized individuals is number one, being independent of the good opinion of other people. Now that's a big one. It doesn't mean you don't care what other people think, but it means that that's not what runs your life. It means you are what you decide to think about yourself. And you can have a million opinions and reputations, but that can't change what you think about yourself. Because if it goes away, if it's a bad reputation, then what you think about yourself is bad. But if you have a bad reputation and you still love yourself, then you can move forward. And you're not affected by it, it's like, and then you become detached from the outcome. Number two, I'm just trying to think of where I'm going to go from here. I should probably just keep it really simple. Yeah, let's go ahead. It's so tough to choose because it's such a beautiful hill area. Shoot, maybe I'll just grab some green. So number three, you're independent of the good opinion. You're on purpose. Number two is you're detached from the outcome. Once again, you're just doing it on purpose, not worried about the results. And number three, it's a hard one to remember for me, but I am going to remember it. You have no investment over power over others. No investment in power over others. Tree like right there. And don't worry about making this perfect because that's usually where I get carried away. Ooh, I haven't done these uppity trees in a long time. Maybe I'll do some little uppity trees. There we go. See how's that look? Needs to be wider. Okay. See, there we go. A little uppity tree. As you push inwards to get it to bend upwards. Now, if I was willing to load my brush with the correct amount of paint, I might actually be able to create the shapes better. So let's get some paint in the brush. Yeah, I mixed sap green, midnight black, used all the purple I was working with there. And let's just keep going through that purple. Purple's gone now, turned into a dark mixture of color. See how much fuller the brush is? Crazy. And nothing comes off. All right, let's try that again. Wiggle it. Yeah, there we go. Wiggle it. There we go. Wanted to make him a little taller. Now let's make some. That's so weird. I load the brush super full and nothing's coming out. There we go. Maybe there's just another kind of grassy area going on here. Yeah, I haven't done grassy areas in a long time. Maybe that's what we'll do. Grassy area. So that tree's way back there now. All of a sudden, it's back behind the grassy area. Grassy knoll. This tree is real green. A bunch of sap green in the brush at that moment. See what I'm doing at this moment while I'm saying all these other things and painting and whatnot is I'm trying not to worry about making it look too. So I always get in my head about trying to make it look right. And saying I just had to fill in that area there when probably would have been nice to leave it blank. So I'm just gonna like make little tree indications by flicking up here. Oh yeah, that's working. I like that. And there's like little ones back here. Maybe there's one. So we just have little trees going on in the background. And then I'm just gonna fluff this up like that. Put back on the texture of the grassy area. And shoot, let's just make it go all the way. Get some black. Let's get some black on the brush. And maybe over here. There's a tree. Maybe over here. Let's try pushing up. I hardly ever practice that. So yeah, it's got that pointed up. It's a happier tree, really. Smiling. Smiling. You gotta give it credit. See, this right here will be the furthest part of the distance for my little scenery here. So there's gonna be like these little tiny distant trees going on. And then back to go right over that with this tree. See, there we go. So that goes way back in there. Who knows? Who knows? So now, see, I love this foothill. I don't want to cover it all up. I want to cover it all up. So let's just and this gets closer down here. And that's good. See, then this side's gonna do this kind of thing. It's closer over here. Some black in there. And then see, we're kind of just going to reflections. Sometimes I do these sideways accidentally, try to keep them straight down if you're just learning this. If not, then you may be having a funny time enjoying laughing at this. There you go. This one, shoot, this is all going to be land area anyways, but just for the practice. Is that practice? I don't know. See, that easy. We got some reflections. I'm telling you, if you've never tried this before, there's tons and tons of channels doing exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just offering my own unique personality to the group. Give it a try. It's exciting. It's exciting. So yeah, I guess I'll just keep going. I mean, shoot. Why not? Wiggle it. Wiggle it. See, when I'm loading it, it'll pull through and then I don't know why. I think I was told that brings the paint out to the edge of the bristles. See, so I want this right here to be darker than our foothill in the background. This is a weird looking tree. He's had some tough seasons. Tough seasons, kind of like the Broncos lately. Broncos have had some tough seasons. I guess if you're a Jets fan, though, you'd probably be having tougher seasons. All right. There we go. So you're just putting paint on the canvas. Okay, let's fill in this edge over here just to get the color on there. I'm really impressed that my canvas hasn't fallen through the easel. Normally my easel it's not tight enough to hold it. I can put a rock behind it maybe, but I could get a new easel too, but you know how that goes. All right. See, that's fun. It's a little too straight for nature, so we'll have rocks and things that kind of mess with that. But it's kind of coming towards you, which is the feel that I'm enjoying in this painting right now. So I think here's something I like to do. I like to act like there was a tree, like that was a really big one. Because, you know, some normal trees are actually bigger at the top, the center of like their leaf cluster. They get smaller as they come back in. So I'm going to assume there's like this tree. It's the edge of the canvas. He's hanging way out there like that. You see, it adds this whole weird dimension to the scenery that got a hair. Got a hair there, that's twice. I can hear the guy now. And so maybe we'll make a big old, there's going to be a big old bushiness right here. I'm just going to begin placing in the color. Yeah, there we go. We'll pretend like there's those background trees, remember from earlier? Yikes. See how that kind of brings this corner in together. Should probably just keep tapping like so. But what I want to get now is this brush. And it'd be funny if I'm wiping paint all over. Shoot, let's grab some crimson too. Crimson's fun to mix into the green pile. You're like, what? Crimson and green makes a beautiful brown. Actually, I forgot about that. Sap green and alizarin crimson just makes the most beautiful brown. It's like a wood grain color. Totally forgot about that. All right, see, this is where we're going to make this up close bush. And when you do these textures like this, you probably already see that it kind of pushes whatever's going on top of it or behind it into the background. Because it's like, boom, there is a bush. Wow, that bush has got crimson and green, black. That's a good looking bush. And see how because it was darker, it instantly put that tree in the background. Do this kind of thing, kind of tap it up, connect our land areas there. All righty then. Maybe we can see what happens when you start touching your canvas. Gotta be careful, man. Gotta be careful. Now, see, that was so beautiful. I think let's go ahead and just add to our reflections to show. Oh, that's too green. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I gotta show that pine tree too. I think something like that. Oh, it's a little left of it, so maybe. There we go. There we go. See that? That's nice. This pine tree. Dang it. See, I did a purple scrape there. It's just hopefully that can. Oh yeah, we'll be doing dirt things, so that's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. See, I almost got worried again. You gotta sing your song now. I think I'll bring some land in over here. Something like that. And it's gonna block off this background area. So that means we're gonna do one of my favorite parts. You just take a slice of any brown color you want. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know where that just came from. Oh well, I guess we'll find out. Like, whoa. I always wonder if like there's a big glob of paint or something somewhere. That's fascinating though. All right, a little slice of brown. We're going all the way, folks. This is going to be a finished painting when I say goodbye. So that's how you practice the art of showing up and also practice your painting abilities at the same time. Now see how that's a straight line? Obviously we're going to turn that into a bushy area, so don't worry about that. Once again, don't worry. Now see how that's a straight line? I like to have, let's say this spot's a peninsula, comes a little further out. See, kind of throws it off, just like that. Then it goes back up, and then over here, another spot comes out to be a peninsula, if that's the proper usage of the term peninsula. See, we're just putting in some dirt, and see this dirt's going to come all the way up to the foreground. So we're going to want it to be textury up there. So let's grab a thick chunk of that and go making some noises and things. Making some noises and things. I don't know what I meant by things. You know what I meant. There we go. See, it comes all the way up the landscape. Then to break it up, like I did with this side, we'll make like a peninsula here. And it goes kind of up in the grassy area there, the grassy knoll. The gunman on the grassy knoll. Hope you're having a good time. If you are, leave a comment. Not, let me know what you like. That's a funny way to put a call to action. If you don't, then let me know what you do like. Sorry, I'm just cracking up here. Wow, see how wild and naturey this looks? So I have this tiny bit of white paint. It's literally just that much. And I'm telling you, if you don't ever give up and realize that the universe is abundant, it goes a long way. See, my white paint is still got that mountain shadow color, the blue that we were using to do the opposite sides up there. But maybe that'll just make it interesting. And so you do little wiggles. And when you do these wiggles, man, it just makes these natural, crazy shapes. Looks like rocks. Like if you want your rock to go over and then down, you can do that. Do it however you want to do it. Remember, gotta make the noises. Little rocks, dirt areas. This is where all the deer, they come down, drink from the lake, while the fisherman watches from the other side. I guess I'm just like making up songs today or something. See, I'm just swiping it. But if I pull over and go down, then it creates that kind of shape. If I wiggle it, it creates like a stair stepping effect of the dirt. So I like to vary just kind of whatever the knife feels like doing. So then I can take this extra white over here, bring it back over here, kind of spread it around because it got too white there. Don't worry about it. I keep telling you. You guys are forgetting. See, then this is going to get blocked off with the land area that comes down over there, if that makes any sense. That makes any sense. That's a beautiful little dirt area. Makes you feel good. Makes me feel good. There we go. That's right up into the foreground there. So yeah, I like to leave certain parts intentionally brighter because it makes you wonder where the light's shining and all this kind of stuff. Like, oh, is the light hitting over here more today? And it looks totally different in real life than it does on a picture or a video. I'm liking what's going on here. Now, the liquid white, which that's another thing. How the heck are we going to get liquid white when we run out of our Bob Ross supplies? Leave a comment if you know about that. Like maybe Steve Ross can make his own line of liquid white. Probably takes a hell of a process to produce it, though, I tell you. Alrighty. See, it's so easier when you don't have to think about what you want to say. I do another YouTube channel that's just my name, Chase Corrington YouTube channel, and talk about spirituality, self-help, personal development, all those kinds of whatever I'm pumped about learning and sharing with others. And it's kind of tough sometimes, like back to the overthinking it, like oh, I'm not good enough. So I just took a little slice of liquid white, and then started slicing it into the canvas. So you slice it off the palette and you slice it. I kind of use the point edge of the knife there and kind of rock it in. That way I don't put the whole head of the knife across an area of the water that I didn't intend on doing. So let's make that one a little more. And wipe the knife to get the color off of it. Some ripples out here like that. Looks nice. And then you can lean the knife up and down to also use the bit of liquid white that you want to. So you remember that purple streak there? Let's go ahead and do like a ripple effect going on. There we go. See, then it really draws the eye to it, which was the opposite of what we wanted, but that's fine. Now I was zigzagging in down here, trying to get that kind of close-up ripple. Maybe we'll just go. And see, if you don't like how some of them come out, you can come back with a clean brush, preferably, and sweep them. Sweep them. Yeah, like that right there. Makes them ever so soft. You can almost do it till it goes away into your blue water. Depends what colors you got going on. So you're gonna like that one as well. Sorry, I just can't help it. I gotta hum sometimes. Makes me feel good. Now, see, it's got a real ripply, shiny effect. That's what we're looking for. I didn't even know what was going to happen in this painting. Just knew we were going to do a mountain landscape, and this one's coming out pretty nicely. I might save the highlights for maybe another video, just to get this one in the books. Actually, I have another painting that I used to not highlight them because I was just lazy. Didn't want to. It says set up professional audio and audio settings. It's probably just trying to get me to do things, folks. But I used to not really highlight because I was lazy, maybe. But there's also times when you think that the painting looks good where it is. Like I kind of like the darkness of this area over here. I almost don't want to cover it with a bunch of bright yellows and things like that. So should we do two of these guys covering in the edge here? Now let's make him a little shorter. Yeah, so see, we're just gonna tap. Pretty big there. Comes down, gets smaller. And then he goes off the canvas on his own adventure. See, that's our tree over there. Now, also want to have some bushes, so we flip it around and push upwards. These are going to come right down. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Almost forgot to do my water lines over there. They would have been upset with me. I didn't plan that. I love how he says that though. Bob, he's like, oh, I would have been upset with me if I left that tree out. So good. So good. So rad. So good. It's a crazy story. Like the amount of inspiration in the world that he created, while at the same time, other people were just thinking about business, which is to be expected in a free market society. But the amount of inspiration that he created is just legendary. Legendary. It's gotta be. I think. It's not like people look at Michelangelo and go, all right, let's check out all of 700 of Michelangelo's tutorials. Unless there is such a thing and nobody ever talks about it. If there is, leave a comment and let me know. If you're getting value, consider subscribing, smash the like button. Nice little water lines. They're looking super nice. Looking super nice. Now, let's grab some more of that crimson, which was so good with the sap green. Not even going to mix it too much. I'm just going to let it be what it is. Grab a touch of black. And watch. Kind of go in a round shape. And your bush just comes in to the present. This is how you manifest with a brush. Bring the bush from the world of thought, the etheric, the Akasha principle, into the world of creation. No, you know what I mean. Into the physical. That's the great thing about these paintings is you take just paint and you bring these kind of things. Maybe we need a bush right there, you think? Yeah. It's good having like a zoomed out view while I'm like right here. Never really thought about that. It's effective. Bring what's in your mind into reality. Do some circle spins here, just try to get the color. And see how when you do that, it destroys the texture? Man, it's probably hard to see, but if you ever do this, you'll know what I mean. So what happens, I'm just trying to get as much color as I can in there. Before I have to reload the brush, because we're really going to want, let's get some of that crimson. Oh yeah. Oh, I get excited about the crimson, can't you? Can't you? Let's maybe do bushy guys over here. And then if you flip the brush over and go this way, there's little grassy areas. It's like purple, crimson looking grassy area, which is just beautiful. This variation of colors was an excellent experiment. Ding. That looks kind of weird right there, doesn't it? At least it does to me. If you don't think it does, then sweet, but I think we need something like this. Yeah, see, to me, that looks a little better. And a little too dark, huh? Yeah, that is too dark, which is perfect. Oh, yeah. Forgot about this. I always do that. I always leave a little open area. So we can grab our handy dandy fan brush. And just like we did these little trees, we're going to push in and flick it up. Just to fill in that background area back there. Yeah. See, that red was starting to come up into it. Looks like a little fire back there. A little fire? What? But if you don't like it, grab your brush maker, call this brush, and go fix that up right there. See? See? Power of the brush. Now, I think we do need a little highlights in this front area. So, just before we finish, we'll go ahead and grab some cadmium yellow. I'll have to use some of my next. There we go. Just throw that out real quick. Usually like to put a red bush, so we might do that. So I'm going to use my cleaner brush here, the one that we kind of just barely use for blending and stuff. And just pull it right through some cad yellow. Tap it in. So I'm working with like a little bit on the end of the bristles. And let's just give this tree some character. Thinking about where I want the limbs to be. So it's kind of like, boom. See, that's simple. Kind of changed the whole feel of that. Maybe we'll give some of that once it tones down a bit. This tree. Just barely. I don't want too much here. One of the feel of like leaves. Bunch of leaves. There we go. See? See? Yeah. I need to do a big old bush here, so get some more on the brush. Maybe load up the brush a bit more there. See, not enough. Paint's kind of thick, actually, is what's going on. See, if this paint is thicker, then this will pull it off rather than stick to it. Seemed to do good though when we just started there. So, there gonna make a circular shape like so. See, he's almost too much the same color. So I'm gonna grab some of our yellow pile here, move it a little bit away, grab just a touch of phthalo blue on the brush. We're gonna try to get a nice green color. Nice green. I almost think phthalo green. And sap green mixed with the yellow makes a nicer green color, but let's see what we ended up with this time, because that's pretty green there, even though we'll see. Sorry, just ranting. Boom, boom, boom. It's all right. It's kind of a dim. I like this dim feel to the scenery. It's not super vibrant. It's kind of, maybe it's cold out, like winter's just beginning. See, I'm just pushing up here to get a little fuzzy grass textures. Oh yeah, it's nice and soft. And see, our light brush has turned dark. So if you need to, go ahead and clean your brush. I don't need to. Get a little bit brighter yellow here so I can add some variance to our grassy areas. And maybe, like I said, I like a red bush. So we'll grab a little bit of our bright, brilliant red. Just a bit. And that's really dry too, so hopefully it comes off the brush the way we wanted it to. The way we wanted it to. Just gonna load one corner. Oh, that's like way too dry. Okay. Okay, luckily I have another tube of that we can try to work with here. Dun, dun. So I guess now we're working on highlights. The composition of the painting is done. We're just adding some highlights here, which adds detail, definition, you know, kind of stuff. Now, see, just got that on one side. We're going to take that and go. We're going to say, hello, red bush. So I made like a circular change of the brush. Creates circular of the brush and the bush. Hope you're enjoying this. If you're still here. Oh yeah, there's a bright yellow friend. I like that. He's kind of coming out of the darkness over there. And maybe our grassy areas just keep going. Boom. Perfect. See? See? And we leave dark spots intentionally. It creates depth. It's so tempting to want to just fill it all up. I'm still not very great at not doing that. And I think just to add some color back in the distance, I'm going to touch some red, touch some yellow, and we're going to get like a brownish orange color going on. And that will be our grassy areas. We want the grassy areas to come up to the dirt. So the dirt is kind of fuzzed. Oh yeah, nice and bright. There's some bright grassy areas going on back there. And I'm just going on tapping real lightly because I want this to be background stuff. Oh, that looks great. That looks great. I'm just going to touch the rocks a little bit, make it look fuzzy. Maybe check this out. That'll be a bright, shiny. It's not as bright as I hoped. Come on, yellow. Yeah, there we go. See a little shiny spot here and there. Oh, you see the variation of the colors, like the green, the dark green, the brighter color. The mind likes it. At least mine does. If yours does, let me know. Yeah, see that right there? And maybe, like it's my favorite thing to do, there's gonna be a red bush over there. Little red things going on here and there around the world. In my world, can be your world too. Should we highlight the bush or leave them dark? Tough to choose. Just pulling through the yellow right now. Going through the green yellow. And let's see what weird color our bush ends up being. Maybe it's just very softly highlighted, not such a bright guy. Sorry, I was blocking you there. My apologies, folks. Once again, just having some fun. So, take a little bit of brown, touch it there, here and there, just here. Because you want it to make like the trees covering up most of these little tree trunks. Bloop, 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 bloop. Drop them in, grab that touch of white, touch of brown. Not quite enough white there. There we go. Sorry, my arm will be out of the way in just a second here. See that? You're adding the whites to these tree trunks. Shadows and highlights, shadows and highlights, pretty much. It's pretty much the secret. Well, I messed that tree up a bit. Don't worry about it. See, I'm just gonna leave that like that. And one last touch. Ooh, got a bunch of green there. I have to clean up my brushes here in a minute, but don't worry, I won't make you watch that. It's one of my least enjoyable parts. Boom, boom, and that is boom, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. Let's pull through a touch of this highlight color and just add a tap of it here and there. Barely want this noticeable. That's a little too noticeable there. Darker at the bottom. Just tapping it down again. Bad cheese. All right, I think we win. You win, certainly. That's a beautiful landscape. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Be sure to check the comments below for some interesting opportunities. And I'm so glad to have shown up today. I'm proud of that, proud of myself, and it's a skill that we all have to work on the crafts that we want to get better at, whether it's painting or whether it's making painting videos, whether it's, making videos in general. Those are just my examples. Could be running, walking, skiing, playing basketball, exercising. But I'd sincerely like to thank you for spending your time with me today, and I hope I brought you some edutainment, educational entertainment. And if you did get value, I'll say it once more, consider subscribing, smash the like button. And I'll be back in the future with more beautiful landscape paintings to throw your way. Thank you very much. Love you, everybody.